Embedded C. In this ARM programming we will going to see for LPC2148. The LPC2148 microcontroller is designed by Philips NXP Semiconductor with several inbuilt features and peripherals. This microcontroller is a 16-bit or 32-bit microcontroller based on ARM7 family. This microcontroller having ROM of 512 KB and RAM of 40 KB. Two 10-bit ADCs provide a total of 14 analog inputs, and single 10-bit DAC provides variable analog output. Two 32-bit timers, one wall-clock timer, two I2C bus, two UARTs, two SPI and one USB communication peripherals are available in LPC2148. Then here we are going to see general purpose input output pins of this microcontroller. This microcontroller having either input pin work as an input pin or output pin. Input pin is used to take the signal or data from outside device, and output pin used to send the data or signal to the outside device. A group of these pins called as a port. So port 0 of LPC21 microcontroller having 32 pins. LPC2148 has two 32-bit general purpose input output port, that is port 0 and port 1. Port 0 is a 32-bit port. Out of these 32-bit pins, 28 pins can be configured either general purpose input or output. Out of that, from pin number 0 of port 0 to pin number 23 of port 0, these are the total 24 pins, plus pin number 25 of port 0, and from pin number 28 to 30, these 3 pins. So these total pins are 28, and these pins work as either, or we can able to configure this pin as a general purpose input output pins. Out of that, one pin number 31 of port 0 can be configured as a general purpose output pin only. So 3 of these 32 pins, pin number 24, 26 and 27 also reserved pins. Hence they are not available for the use. Also these pins are not mentioned in the pin diagram of 2148. Then port 1 is also having 32-bit, but only 16-bit out of these 32 pins. That pin number 16 of port 1 to pin number 31 of port 1 are available for use of general purpose input and output. This is the pin diagram of NXP2148. This IC that shows the total pins are 64 pins. Out of these 64 pins, 45 pins from port number 0, 29 pins, 28 pins for general purpose input output, and 1 pin that work as only output, and from port 1, 16 pins are used for the general purpose input output pins from this LPC2148. So you can able to see that pin. Suppose here if you see the pin number 1 of this pin number 1 assigned for port 0, pin number 21. Almost every pin in these two ports has some alternate functions. For example, if you have seen pin number 0 or port 0 can be configured as a transmitter pin for UART 0 or PWM 1 pin as well. The functionality of pin can be selected using PINSEL Register. If you see the pin number 1 of LPC2148, pin number 1, here you can see this functionality of these pins there are four functions that acts as a port, that will act as a PWM, ADC and capture. It means this pin can function four modes. It can be either general purpose input output port, PWM output 5, ADC or timer capture pin number 8. Out of this listed four possible functionality, pin 1 can function any one of that. Then current function of any one pin can be configured using corresponding pin select register. So in LPC2148 having 3 pin select register 0, 1 and 2. So that will decide value of pin select register decides the function of that pin. Pin function select register are 32-bit register. These registers are used to select or configure specific pin functionality. There are 3 pin select registers are there. So pin select register 0 is used to configure port 0 pins from port 0 to 15. Then pin select 1 register used to configure port 0 for pin number 16 to 31, and pin select 2 register used to configure the port 1 from pin number 16 to 31. By default, all pins are configured as a general purpose input output pins. We don't need to explicitly assign 0 value to pin select register in programming. Examples we will going to see here. Almost all the pins in LPC2148 are multiplexed to support more than one function. The required function can be selected by configuring the pin select register, as there can be 4 functions associated with general purpose input output pin. 2 bits for each pin are available to select the function. So here we are going to see the pin select register. So first pin select first 16 bit of port 0, pin select register, that is pin select 0. For next remaining 16 bits of port 1, pin select 1 register, and port 1, pin select 2 register is used for the port 1 to select the port 1 pin from 16 to 31. So this is the pin select register function, how that gets selected. If the pin select function register value is 0, 0 means that indicate primary function, typically that acts as a general purpose input output pin. If pin select register value is 0, 1, that indicates the first alternate function. If 1, 0, that select the second alternate function of that pin.